So before we begin this session, so we will try to understand the human emotions that we as a humans, what we carry. We will try to fundamentally write that code using Java syntaxes. So if you take an example of a human emotions that you want to write, it can be happiness, it can be feelings, it can be anything. We will write a code. Before we begin, so we will begin this code writing with the help of an online compiler. Now, what we will be doing first you need to imagine what you are going to write a code. So you imagine how first human communicate. So humans actually how the human communication. So you can say now human communication is in the form of question and answers. So I'll ask you a question and you'll answer me. Like let's say I'll ask you a question. How are you? So how are you is what? It's a question, right? So why you ask this question? Because you want information from someone, right? So the information you want from someone, you'll say, suppose I'll ask you how are you, you'll say good, right? So it's a question I ask you, how are you? And the answer you give me is good, correct? Now this question and answer, this question is also called in coding. In coding, we call this question called variables. What do you call? Variables.
Variables. Yes.
And this answer, what we generally call it as data. Is it called as data?
Data.
So now, if you talk about emotions, a human emotions carry data only, right? But there will be variables and data for that emotion. Suppose if you want, let's take an example. Imagine if you want to, it's just a simple example. Let's say you have a shop, okay, and let's say a shop is there. A shop shop owner, let's say I'm taking an example, a shop owner will talk to humans. So a shop owner will talk to every human with help of a question and answer. So every human will ask a question and the shop owner will give you answer yes or no. Now let me give you a small demonstration. So let me take an example. If a human wants to communicate in the form of question and answer, the question and answer is a way of talking or getting information from one person to other person. So imagine now, take an example. If you want to communicate the information or data with help of variables for with any human being, you want to do with anyone and not one person, you want to do with any person, so then we will work with coding. Now for example, it's a simple example. Suppose I'll shop owner is a human. Okay, his name is Karthik. Okay, myself Venkatesh. So what I do is Venkatesh will ask a question to whom? The shop owner. So the question I'll ask him is do you have soaps? Okay, so what will be the answer from the shop owner?
I have.
Yes, right. Now the question, again, listen, then there's other person. So you will come, Namrata will come. So you will ask. So now what will happen is you will ask a question to shop owner. So you will ask a question. Okay, do you have beauty products? Let's say you ask beauty products. So the question is, he says no. Now let's say, now if you ask me, the shop owner is being asked a question and the shop owner is asked by question is customer or humans, and the answer is given by the shop owner is no. Now let's take an example. Now imagine the shop owner has to daily, how many customers should a shop owner give answer and question? He has to answer how many customers? Let's imagine if a shop owner has to uh, respond to almost respond to, let's say, 10 customers, not 10 customers, let's say he responds to 50 customers. Tell me, if 50 customers, if he is responding this way, is it going to waste his energy of a shop owner or not?
Every time we should say yes.
Definitely, right? See, I'm asking question, he's answering, the other person will come and this can be solved with object-oriented programming in Java. How is? Listen, I'll write a keyword called class. I'll write a keyword called class. I'll write one symbol. Inside this, we are writing about what? Shop owner, right? So you want a shop owner. If you want a shop owner to actually respond to every customer. He wants to respond to every customer, but he'll respond to customer, but he knows the questions that every customer will ask is more or less similar, because when right, when you are selling a product, so most of the customers, when they go to the shop, they ask same questions, right? So the questions are same. What will be the answers is also going to differ, right? So what I'm trying to say is, imagine if you have a shop, and the owner of the shop is Karthik, and he has to respond to 50 customers every day. The shop owner will get same questions will be same, answer is going to differ. So then you can put that in object oriented programming. How? You have to write a class. Are you getting my point, what I'm trying to say? You have
Yes.
to write a
Yes,
class.
sir.
You
Yes.
have to write a class name called as shop owner,
Okay.
and inside this class, what all questions the shop owner will get from customers. List out the questions that he gets. So he gets a question called, let's say, do you have soap? Do you sell soap?
Yes.
Okay, so let's say, and he has a question called, do you have beauty products? Okay, let's say the question is this. So you tell me, when I write this question is actually a variable. A variable also should tell the data. Question will also have answer. So what is the data? What is the data if I have a question? Do you sell soap? What is the answer that I'll mostly say yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
If it's a beauty product, so I'll say a beauty product. Let's say I yes, you'll say, let's say he says, yeah, I supply Fair and Lovely something.
Yeah.
Okay, now the answer based on this data, you have to write a keyword here. So the answer is yes. So the data, based on the data, you have to write here string. What do you have to write it? String.
Okay.
So you have to write here string. Why? Because the data is, do you have soaps? Do you have soaps means what? The type of the data, that is where it is, type is string. So you have to write on here also what? String. And you have to write here semicolon. So now imagine the benefit for shop owner is, if he writes coding, he can write in class shop owner. He can put all the questions that customers ask every day. He can put all the questions are that he will be putting all the questions. That is nothing but question, or you can say variables with. He also knows the data, right? A shop owner knows the data, right? So what kind of data that I'll be providing. Then the customers are whom? The customers are humans, right? So
Yes.
the customers are called as objects. What is it called as?
Objects.
Customers are called as objects. And you can say the customers are nothing but humans, and they are called as an object. Now, let me tell, every time the question that customer will ask is same. So before asking a question, the customer should first allocate memory for these variables and then ask this question. What they should do?
Memory allocation.
Before asking a shop owner, about a product, we should first do memory allocation. That's why we write class. What do you write? We write a class. We write a class. Inside this class, we write. You write down something like this. You write a symbol. Okay, and inside this symbol we will do memory allocation. So that is, you write a class keyword and plural bracket, that's a syntax, and this is syntax of a method, you can say. So I'll tell you what is a method also, but before I talk about method, right, every time the question that shop owner, every day he faces same questions from customers. Only data is going to differ. So what I do is, if a customer has got same type of questions, so I write down only the variable names, but data is going to differ. So what do I do is, I do write down here a method. What is this?
My
I
own method.
method. This is symbol I write. So what is this method is going to do? Tell me what this method has to do. So before buying a product, a customer first has to allocate memory for this variables, correct? So
Yes.
how will, let's say now, Venkatesh is a person who buys something in the shop. So what I have write is shop owner, a name of the customer or humans. Who is that person? Venkatesh. And I have to write what? New keyword, and I have to write shop owner. It means before purchasing any product in that shop, we need to first allocate memory for these variables. right? Because you're going to ask questions on this variables. Yes or no? So it means first memory allocation, and then you can assign something. So this class name, if you want, you can write down it as, what is the name of the class? Main.
Test. Yeah.
Main you can write. Okay. Mostly when you open the same online compiler, more or less similar, next time, or if you're opening in the new window, if you can see in the new window, yeah, you will see always what is the class name? Main. So I have also written what there? Main. You're getting my point, right?
Yes, sir.
And if you ask me why we need to write this classes, because if we want to actually allocate memory for the customers, first, before asking the question, the shop owner has to allocate memory, then he can do this. This is the whole idea of what, how you can do it. So the whole idea is this, that's it. That's nothing much to worry here. I wrote a class shop owner, but the question is that, as we know, every customer is going to ask questions. So definitely, every customer is going to ask you questions. But the question that every customer will ask is same, but only data differs. So what I do is, I do write a method here, and the method name is, let's say, I do write it as set. Okay, just an example set. And what this method set do is, it will set the values, or let's imagine these variables will be, okay, first the shop, a customer allocates memory before he buys a product at the shop. After allocating memory, he has to actually initialize also. So what I would say is, if you want, you can write a same name, a method name, same name as class name, and a method name which is same name as class name. What does it mean is, when a customer tries to, before buying the product, that's why I'll put it in a comment for you, before buying the product, what you need to do is, before buying the product, a customer needs to allocate memory. Because why he needs to allocate memory is because before buying the product, customer needs to allocate memory. Why? If you allocate memory only, you can assign some value into that memory, whether you may purchase the product or not purchase, but still you are asking a question, right? If you allocate memory only, you can store some information or data. That's the whole point. So listen carefully. What is the purpose of this method? The purpose of this method is to assign a data into the memory. What is that? Its purpose is to assign a data. Its purpose is to assign a data into the memory. So the whole purpose of that is that. So you have to assign a data into this memory. So it's very simple. We took a simple example, very straightforward example. So I'm just summarizing it. If you take human communication, humans will talk in the form of question and answers. That is, how are you, where are you? Okay. And let's imagine you have a shop, and shop owner name is Karthik, and he has to answer every day at least 25-30 customers. So the questions that he gets from the customers always will be same, but the answer he will say yes or no, because his choice. And so imagine if this shop owner, if he is responding to every customer, we can write a code this into object oriented programming. That is called, the shop owner is a human, the customer is also human. One human asks question to another human, and other humans will give answers or data. You can just put it across your side. Then I have written this class name is shop owner. Okay, cool. So the name of the class is shop owner, and I have written the questions that they ask. So do you sell soaps? Do you beauty products? Then I have to write a method. Why do I have to write a method? Is to assign a data into this thing. The whole idea is to assign a data. There's no other point here. So you can say this whole idea is to assign a value into them. So I have a class main also. I have here also a method, and this is a method I have here. And inside this method, I am first allocating memory before buying the product, and then I'll assign a value. But the question is, first allocate memory, then the human can ask a question, or the question first allocates memory. Then the question that you will ask is definitely, do you sell soaps and beauty products? And the data here, maybe you can imagine, assume this data that it is given, assume this data I will be giving here is given by the shop owner. Let's don't assume this is given by a customer or human. So imagine the data I pass here is given by a human shop owner. So imagine, do you sell soaps? That's a question. And do you have beauty products? Do you sell the beauty products? Now let's say, imagine he says here, he passes yes. Who says this? Assume this data is passed by, not by the customer. Let's assume this data is passed by the shop owner. Let's assume this way. So I am passing a data yes, and beauty products also he says, let's say no. Okay, he said no. So the data that I pass is to assign a data into this memory. So the purpose of method is to assign a data into this variables, right? It's just assign a value into these memories. So to assign a data, I have written a constructor called shop owner. So this will take two arguments. So you can write down here a string, which takes do you sell soaps? Again a string. Again here also a string, which takes beauty products. Okay, and this is what I ask. Suppose now, let's say this is the same question. It's for human. For Venkatesh, he says beauty product new. Let's say now I'll write your name. Now I'll write down. He says yes, and for you also he says yes. So it is the shop owner. Assume this data that is passed is given by a shop owner, and that data I'm passing to these two variables, string D and string B. This data is what I'll be assigning to actually the memory allocation. The memory allocation before buying the product. What we are allocating? We are allocating for these two variables, and then we are storing the data whether shop owner says yes or no, or yes, whatever it is. So where do you store? We are storing in these two variables. It's not supposed to be stored in these two variables. We are supposed to be stored in this variable. So how do you store in this variable? You have write this dot, do you sell soaps is equal to D, this dot, beauty products, B. That's it. Is this clear? Did you understand the whole idea of this, how you are writing coding? Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
So now this is a simple step. Now the next question is, this is a whole code is fine, no problem. Now we need to, before buying any product, if you want to buy any product, we have to allocate memory. All the memory allocation we should do inside a main class. What is a class? Main class. There is a main class. Inside that main class, there is actually one person called static. You write down like this, or you can just adapt this design of the class. So generally they write down like this. So most of the times you can also, if you want, you can copy this code. I'm just putting it here. Nothing much I'm doing here. I'll write down a class main, and inside this I will be writing the actual code. What I'll be doing is, inside this I will be writing here name of the function. I'll write it as main only. Class name, remember, capital main. Method name also main. And I'll be writing some keywords here. I'll be writing here static keyword. I'll tell you why we write static keyword. Void is written type keyword. Then I'll be writing most probably a keyword called public. And inside this I'll also write a keyword string, and I'll specify here an array symbol, and then I'll write RGS. And this is something that we are supposed to do it. And you have to write down here name of the class should be also made it as public, and then run this code. So you won't get any error. So most probably your program is running successfully without any errors. So that's a great sign for you. So did you get the whole idea now? So what we are trying to do here? And imagine now the benefit here is that any customer can come and buy in this shop by first allocate memory and ask question. So asking question is definitely these variables. The data that they'll get is different. So let's assume this data is given by the shop owner. Let's assume this is the data given by the shop owner. Yes, no, yes, yes, and like this. And this is how you can do this. So it's all about what is all about coding here is that if a human actually communicates data, so you what actually do is you take the data and store in your memory, that is brain. Okay, in coding also, if you can write a class, inside the class you can write down what humans actually communicate, that is class shop owner, string double sell soaps, string beauty products. So a shop owner, inside there you write string D, string B, whatever you write here. So whatever you write down here, so you write down that classes, and that classes shop owner or whatever it is, do you sell soaps, do you beauty products, whatever you write down here, this products actually help you to do a lot of things here. Okay, and next, what we can do here now, imagine the shop owner can say yes or no. Let's assume we'll go little behind and we'll try to make you a little more understanding. Let's assume if a shop owner says he sells a soap, yes, and or if you do you ask a shop owner, do you sell a soap, yeah, do you sell soaps, he says yes, and you'll ask a price of a soap, let's say, so you'll ask a price of a soap or a product, so you will say, so you'll ask so let's say you'll ask a soap price, let's say I'll write on string and I'll say Santur soap. So you'll say Santur soap is the name of the soap you are, or you can write down generically, you can write a name of the product soap. And let's say you want to buy a soap, so definitely you will write a type integer and you will write a price. Then next comes the question. So then he says yes and no. Assume this data is given by the shop owner, yes and no, and he says, do you, so you will ask the definitely the shop owner that what type of soap you want, or it's a question that you will pass. So you will ask him, boss, do you have Santur soap? Correct. And he will tell you the price. Let's say it is 25 rupees. So the other person may ask, first you have Lux soap. He may say you it's around 27 rupees. So every time when you imagine it's a shop, I told you an example. You go to a shop, the number of list of questions that you're going to ask to a shop owner is more or less similar that every customer will ask. So why don't you write a class and write down all the list of questions inside the class? And how do you assign, why don't you write a method to assign a data into that memory? So once you list it out, first before assigning a value, first you need to allocate memory, or before buying the product you need to allocate memory. That should happen in main class or inside main function. Correct. And you need to also, now this program may not work. Why? Because the arguments here I've specified 2 and I'm passing here 4. So you just check it, you will get an error. And this error says, can you see this error? Hope you are there. You can see this. I'm saying yes.
Yes,
No.
sir.
It says constructor cannot apply to given types. It says it's giving an error. Require string, but found string integer. Yes or no? So this error is something you can see it and you can figure out. So what you have to do here, if it says that
And
expected to
arguments.
you have expected to add some more people. So yes, string, and again you write so, comma, int p. And obviously, if this shop owner is gonna raise, or if this shop owner has got so many questions, and he is gonna get lot of questions, so you can also put all the questions into this. So you can write this dot soap is equal to yes so. This dot price is equal to p. Now your error is resolved. No error, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
now what you can do is you can also do something. Now a shop owner, finally, if you want to know what all the products you buy, or let's say you have a bill. What is that? Name of the method is bill. Getting it or not? So inside a bill, you write a name of the method. What is a bill will? It is actually, there is a memory. What is a class? The number of questions that they'll ask the customers will put it inside this class variables. Yes or no? If you want to see the data which is there inside, whatever questions that customer asks, if you want to see data inside that, so you can see it with help of this. Using this, you can access that variables. You can access that variables, right? Using this only you can access it. So what we are going to do here, you can go little more details. So what I'll be doing is I'll be writing here system dot out dot println. Okay, so system dot out dot println. Inside this, I really want to print the data or the information which is stored in a memory. I want to print it. So I want to just print it on the console. Then you can definitely print it in the console. This dot, you can write on one attribute only. If you want to print other attributes, then you have to add double quotes plus. You have to add this and then add this value and print it. Okay. And here, if whoever wants to take a bill, now you write Namrata dot bill. I will be calling this method. So cool. So now you see this bill method has been given error called it is not saying any type. So better write void. I'll tell you what is that void. So and also it's giving me an error here saying that you can see that it says that expected found something like this, right? So it says you what it says. It's not a statement and it's also expecting you there. So why it's giving you the error? Because if you want, you can do a concatenation operation. That is where I'm trying to do here. So you can better write like this otherwise. Okay, so I'm trying to print two values which is there by using a plus here, and I'm trying to print it says both SS, right? For the first for Namrata it says SS. So this is how you can see, this is how we write a code, and coding is almost the similar thing. We don't have any complications. Now let's imagine the number of, if this is a lengthy process, imagine if a customer have to answer every if a shop owner has to ask every customer the number of questions that a shop owner may get, let's say 50 to 100, okay, or 50 to 100 variables, then the shop owner has to write all the 50 to 100 variables inside this class. Yes or no? Maybe some customers may ask some questions he don't ask. In that case, how will you do? So that's a better way to do is you divide the shop owner information into categories. What is that? You need to divide into categories. So a shop owner writing a one class for soap, beauty products, everything is not good. So it is better you can divide the whole code into categories. Are you getting? So I'll try to write a category. Now this is a good design, but this in this case what happens if suppose a shop in the problem is this is different categories. If I have different category of questions are variable to be asked, if let's say I have 100 questions, so I have write 100 variables here, and that is also different categories. There. Now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do this approach. This is not going to help me. So I will just take it an example here, because you go to shop, you know it every day. So let me write this way. So I will design my whole code in a different approach. Now I'll write class. I'll write another class, because as a shop owner, I will divide my products or the questions that I get from my customers. I'll divide into different categories. Let's say I'm a shop owner and I sell different products. So let's say I'm being asked a customer related to grocery and related to, let's say I am a customer who actually, I'm trying to write a class grocery, and I'm writing another class called, something essentials. You're getting my point, right? So now I'm writing two more classes. Why is that? I want to categorize the questions that my customer will ask, because my customer will ask me a different question, because my customer will ask me a different question because I have a different class. One is grocery, one is essentials. So inside a grocery class, the list of questions that my customer asks, I need to really write it there. So what I will write, and list of essentials I would write. So right, what are the grocery questions you ask, right? So what are the grocery questions you ask them? Hello.
Or
So
dal, whatever groceries we
you
can.
ask, yeah, you will ask, do you sell carrot, right? Or what do you ask?
Do you have rice?
Uh-huh.
Do you have rice, or do you have
Sorry, essentials will be that, I guess. It is, maybe you'll ask a brand name, and the question is that a brand name and the brand name of that. Let's say a brand name is, let's say, Venkat. You say Venkat Dal. You ask Venkat Dal is there. So the type of it is what? String. So if it is there, he will say yes. Otherwise, he will say no, right? And let's say in groceries, you will ask him that you do you have carrot? Okay, and I've done a groceries. In this groceries, you can put it according to that. So you can categorize it. So I'll just put it across. You can put it. It's a question that you will get. So this is one class grocery. This is another class called essential. You can also write another category called as uh, protein, or you can say health. Okay, and this category is, let's say you may ask him, you'll ask, do you sell, I need, let's say I will say you need a complaint, a type is string, or you need a booster. You will say I need a booster. Or let's say you will say I need a boost of how much. So you will say I need booster. So now this code can be still optimized. It I told you now, you can still optimize in a better way also. So I am writing the category of questions that a human will ask. I am putting that in this approach. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this is a whole idea that we actually work on. So this should give you clarity, because initially I started teaching you in that way, but this is not way. Now you tell me, in this class grocery, I need to write a method to assign, initialize this value, right? To assign some value to this memory. So what should I write? I should write name of the method the same name as a class name. Here also I should write what? Name of the method same name as a class name. Yes or no? Here also I should write same name as a class name. Super. Now inside this, what should I write? Inside this, what should I write? I should initialize this variable, right?
Yes.
Dot
This
what?
dot.
Carrot. So you are asking a carrot. Maybe how much you will ask. You may ask half kg or something. So it's better you write down string. So C carrot. So definitely you're gonna ask him carrot half kg or something. So you can ask them. That's no problem. You can ask them. You can ask them how many kgs you want. You can ask them. Okay. And definitely here
C means it's again assigning.
it's carrot only, because you are taking. That's why I said
Okay.
actually the only difference between humans and programming is that in human case, to us, we whenever you talk to other humans, if other human gives data, you directly assign into memory. But in human case, if you to assign a data into memory, you always take one more memory. That is this arguments, right? So you don't assign, you can see here also, you don't directly assign a value to memory here also. What do you see here? There is also some variables here, right? You do see some variables here. That is string D, string B, string so, string int B. It means you also see some variables here. So what is those variables actually doing here? It means when you see all these variables here, string D, string B here, string so, string int P, these are all variables you see here, right? So when you see all these variables, you can actually understand here. So what is the most important thing here is that in difference between humans and computers is that whenever an answer is replied by the shop owner will assign the value to one variable. Understand? Let's assume this is shop owner guy memory, and from the shop owner guy memory you are copying into humans memory. You understood or not? So assume always these variables are shop owner's memory. Understood? These variables are whose memory? This is actually called shop owner guy memory. Are you getting? So shop
Yes.
owner guy, first shop owner is deciding what to give answer, whether it's yes or no. It's a shop owner memory, and from shop owner memory you copy it to its copy is to whose memory? Customer's memory, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's the whole point. So this is the only difference. That much only coding is very easy. So we try to make it very simple. So every time we are doing same thing. Here also we are declaring one variable. Why we are writing? Because shop owner guy will tell. You will ask, boss, I need half kg. Then the same half kg is also been copied to your memory. So the first memory, this memory is assume always it's a shop owner memory. It is from that memory it is copied to your local, your humans memory.
Customer. Okay.
Here also same thing. So you can, I think there is some noise, so that's I'm muting you. So here also what you have right is you can declare two variables. So you will say string that's the only difference. So here you have to again write down like this dot comp line equal to so again you write this dot post is equal to b. So this is how you work, guys. This is how you do actually. Simple. So the whole idea is simple, very simple, very the way we do it here also. So essentials, you write string v. So I'll write down here this dot Venkat doll. That's why I said here. This is actually shop owner memory. This is actually customer's memory. So customer's memory, how do you access it? You in your brain you keep it simple. Customer memory, how will you access this dot? Shop owner memory, how to access? Directly a variable name v. So what are you doing? From shop owner memory, you are copying data to customer's memory. Simple. It is nothing but humans memory. So whichever humans creates an object to buy these essentials, you are copying into their memory. But first, you are trying to pass data to shop owner. From shop owner memory, the data will be copied. So imagine that way, because this data, whatever you are giving, yes, no, or something, that's an answer is given by the shop owner. Let's imagine, and that data from the shop owner it gets copied to your memory. That's a whole conclusion of it. And if you want to go a little more deeper, and as I said that here, the whole idea is this is a whole idea what we are working here, right? So further deeper can we can go here. There is no challenge here. The whole idea is this. But what I'm trying to give you here, some idea here is that this code cannot be a good approach or attempt if you do, if suppose a customer has gonna ask 100 questions or 200 questions. So I cannot write one class and put all 100 and 200 questions into this. This has become so lengthy. Correct. So what I do here is I do want to categorize into different things. So when I categorize it, then object-oriented principle comes. Getting it or not? So you write a class grocery. This is shop owner memory, copy to your customer memory. This is again class help. You write down this is shop owner memory, again copy to customer memory. Then this is class essentials. You write down variable, and again here also shop owner memory, copy data to customer memory. There are totally 3 classes. Now, which is good approach? The first design what we wrote, people may not accept it, because if customer has different categories, different varieties, that's one class is something, it makes a non-readable code. So I put a class grocery, I put a class health, I put down a class called as something different, right? So you write a class essentials. Now let's talk about something important here. Now we are talking about something important, that is where you write different classes and different approach. But only one problem is that this class essentials is purchased by one customer only. Grocery also purchased by one customer only. Then how will you do? So now I have an option here. If you want, you can do this. When I am a customer, it's not guaranteed. If suppose there are choices for me, if I want to buy, if I'm a customer, I want to buy only grocery, I can come and create an object to grocery and buy carrot and go. I'm a customer, I also come and I buy health products, I only buy health products. I can be a customer, come and only buy essentials and I can go. But if I'm a customer where I buy all the 3, and that is also possible. Now, let me give an example first, simple example. Now, I am a customer who comes every day to the shop, essentials, and I buy only dal. I don't buy everything. So I write now shop owner, not shop owner. I will write a class name called essentials, and a customer who comes there is Venkat, is equal to new essentials, and you need to pass data to them, right? I am someone who actually doesn't pass only this, I pass a lot of other stuff. So you can definitely keynote is for users. The keynote is that you write essential class Venkat is equal to new essentials. So it means I'm allocating memory before buying, I'm allocating memory for Venkat dal. But what is first, the shop owner data is passed to shop owner memory, and then from there it's copied to customer. So this variable is like allocated memory for shop owner, and the shop owner will tell, when you ask a question, definitely Venkat dal, he will say yes, and this data yes. Or a customer is asking this Venkat dal of 1 kg, let's say 1 kg. So this data 1 kg is also passed to this variable, and that is assigned to this memory. So 1 kg is actually a data that you can, actually a data gets allocated twice, because in the code of object oriented programming, data gets allocated not once, twice it will get, because it allocates a variable string v which stores data 1 kg, and also this Venkat dal also stores 1 kg. So it's that way. I can even do this way, this is nothing wrong, but further I will be explaining how you can still do this. This is possible. I can only buy essentials. I'm a customer, I come only buy essentials. I'm a customer, I come only buy groceries. But if you want to go a little more extension, there can be some of the customers who buy all the 3 of them. There are possibility, there are chances that some of the customers, but I cannot enforce I cannot enforce a customer. Now if I write health here, grocery here, and some of these classes what I'm writing here, essentials here, so I cannot enforce someone here to say that, boss, I'll have to buy, I'll only buy this only or that only. We cannot enforce it like that. So this is a whole idea. This is how it works here in the, the whole idea is this. So I will further tell you tomorrow